Today is one of those news days that is deeply disturbing, yet totally unsurprising, to tell you the truth. Last night, somebody torched the Or Chavib Synagogue in Jerusalem's Sanhedria neighborhood, a place where the former Chief Rabbi Yitzhak Yosef often prays. Luckily, firefighters managed to put out the blaze early, but prayer books were vandalized and a cross was even painted on a nearby house. The fire and rescue services have confirmed that it was indeed arson. Police are investigating, and the Interior Minister Moshe Arbel is pushing for the Shin Bet to treat this as a nationalist terrorist attack. No arrests have been made just yet. Haredi leaders like the UTJ's Yisrael Eichler are pointing fingers at anti-Haredi incitement over the military draft debate. Rabbi Yosef, a Shas spiritual leader, has been very vocal against conscripting yeshiva students against their will to the draft, even calling draft enforcers wicked. Shas chairman Aryeh Deri called the attack a hate crime against Jewish identity. Prime Minister Netanyahu condemned the desecration, saying it reminds him of tragic periods in Jewish history, likely the Holocaust. Honestly, these responses aren't even remotely strong enough. Burning synagogues? In all likelihood, this could have been Jews who perpetrated the attack. And nothing is worse than that. This draft fight is ripping Jews apart. Is this what we've come to? I'm not here to debate whether or not Haredim should serve in the military. My opinion honestly doesn't matter. But is this worth it? Jews attacking Jews, lighting synagogues on fire? This is a true emergency, a major red flag. Sure, God wants us to keep his commandments and wants us to be all holy and stuff, sure. But what he wants more than anything is for us to love his children. And when we don't, oh boy, we better watch out. Let me take you back for a second. 1 week before October 7th, 2023, Jews gathered in Dizengoff Square in Tel Aviv to pray. One day a year, all kinds of Jews, religious, secular, everyone puts aside their differences to talk to God. Beautiful, right? Well, not everyone thinks so. Except protesters showed up waving LGBT flags, nothing to do with prayer. I'm not sure what that's all about. And some went so far as to rip headscarves off of women who were praying. I knew back then that we were in trouble. This kind of sin, this kind of hatred between Jews never goes unpunished. The first and the second temples fell because of this. 1 week after Dizengoff, October 7th hit. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. But I know that I felt it coming. This draft bill is fueling the same type of fire. Synagogues are being burnt now, and if we don't stop this, we're begging for even worse. God is watching, and history does not lie. Yasser Abu Shabab, the head of the Abu Shabab militia in Gaza, is not happy. On Thursday, Israel dropped a bomb. No, not that kind of bomb, a different kind of bomb. The news was that Israel has been arming the group to take down Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Abu Shabab's clan, based in southern Gaza, has a sketchy past tied to smuggling with Egyptian jihadists and ISIS, etc. This revelation sparked a firestorm in Israel and worldwide, with critics slamming the idea of arming a criminal gang to fight another criminal gang. The Palestinian propaganda machine ate it all up. Look, Israel has ties with ISIS. Hamas are clearly the good guys. Why hasn't ISIS ever attacked Israel? It's a conspiracy. They're loving it. But today, Abu Shabab, they struck back. In text messages to the army radio, unverified, mind you, Abu Shabab said, "We do not work with Israel. Our goal is to protect Palestinians from Hamas terror." He claims that his weapons are scavenged from locals and they're not shipped from Jerusalem, like from Netanyahu and the Israeli government. And he swears that he's never sat down with any Israeli officials ever. Then there's this audio clip dropped by the Center for Peace Communications, a group focused on exposing Hamas and Hezbollah's abuses. In it, someone claimed to be Abu Shabab doubles down, saying, "We're not working with the occupation," and that they demanded that Hamas step down from the government. He brags that hundreds of families are flocking to the controlled zones in eastern Rafah daily, seeking safety from Hamas's grip. The clip's authenticity isn't yet confirmed, and how it was obtained is still a gray area, but it is making waves. This comes as Kogat, Israel's coordinator of government activities in the territories, released graphic footage on its Arabic language Facebook page showing Hamas executing a Palestinian in Gaza City over the weekend. Kogat's calling it desperate, failed attempts by Hamas to scare people into submission and to cling to their power. They're not mincing words. Hamas terrorists are criminals, They are killing you, and they do not care about your lives. Meanwhile, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation reported that Hamas threatened forces to shut down the sites on Saturday, though one will be reopened in central Gaza today. Abu Shabab's militia is clearly rattling Hamas's cage, but can they actually break up the Hamas stronghold? His group tied to Rafah, a hotspot for smuggling and for conflict. If he's legit about protecting Palestinians, he's got a steep hill to climb in a place where Hamas has always ruled with an iron fist for years. And if Israel is really backing him, he clearly doesn't want anybody to know about it. The Attorney General's office in Israel is sounding the alarm over a new government proposal. What's the plan? Let's let a 5-member ministerial committee fire the Attorney General without going through the statutory committee that's supposed to handle hiring and firing. Deputy AG Gil Limon is not holding back, calling it a tectonic shift that would politicize the AG's role, making it a position somewhat like a government shill type of role, and spit in the faces of the High Court's rulings. He says it's a mortal blow to the AG's independence, a serious violation of their professionalism, and a straight-up attack on the rule of law. Limon's warning that this move is part of a broader push to remove limits on government oversight, on the government power, which he says threatens public interest and ethical integrity. Let's cut through the noise. Attorney General Baharav-Miara is fighting tooth and nail to keep her job. Justice Minister Yariv Levin has been gunning for her position since March, when he's kicked her off the process to fire her. The problem is he can't get the statutory committee staffed, so he's stuck. Now the government's cooking up this workaround, and Baharav-Miara's team is screaming that it's illegal. Of course she wants to stay in power. Who wouldn't? This isn't about her, though. The AG's role has been a nonpartisan firewall since Israel's founding. It's meant to keep the government in check while upholding the law. If the proposal passes, it could turn the AG into a political pawn, bending to whatever the ruling coalition wants, legal or not. The cabinet is set to debate this today, and if they greenlight it, expect a legal and political explosion. Opposition leaders like Yair Lapid are already crying that it's foul and the High Court's likely to get dragged in. This could reshape Israel's entire legal system, giving the government unprecedented power to silence its critics. On the flip side, Levin and his allies argue that the AG's office has way too much power, even more disturbing because the country's citizens don't elect the AG. Over in Los Angeles, protests against federal immigration raids are turning the city into a battleground, and President Trump is not messing around. His administration deploying 2,000 National Guard troops to keep things under control after 2 days of clashes. On Saturday, federal agents squared off with a few hundred demonstrators in Paramount, southeast LA, where some protesters were waving Mexican flags on American soil. A smaller group of about 60 people downtown LA that night chanting "ICE out of LA." Things got heated with reports of pushing and shoving, but no major violence yet. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth upped the ante, warning that if things do escalate, the Pentagon is ready to send active duty Marines from Camp Pendleton, which is on high alert currently. Trump signed a presidential memorandum to address the lawlessness that has been allowed to fester in California, according to the White House. His border czar, Tom Homan, told Fox News that the National Guard is hitting the ground in LA to back up federal agents. But California Governor Gavin Newsom called it a purposefully inflammatory stunt, posting on X that Trump is just looking for a spectacle. He's urging protesters to keep it peaceful and not give Trump the chaos that Trump wants. So there you have it. What are we saying on the interesting scale today? 4.5, 6, 7, not sure? Let us know in the comments what you think. For JFE.com, this has been Overnight Israel. We'll catch you next time.